Well, hey there folks, this is Mary's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Welcome back to Southeast Louisiana. Well guys, it is hot today. It's the middle of the day. It is July 30th. We're almost into August. And buddy, it feels like it. We're in the dog days of summer. You cannot cool off in the shade anymore. The humidity, if it was any more humid, it'd be raining. I think our humidity percentage is just shy of rain, and it's 92 right here, so it's hot. So on my way to that swarm way up north, 25 miles. That's good. That's a good distance, and hoping you can hear me fine. Don't have my microphone in, but it's not windy, so we shouldn't need it. But anyway, I've been out this morning and finishing out, cycling out my comb from those dead outs in the video a while back. So I did that this morning, got all my frames squared away and everybody stacked. All the supers are out. There's still 5 on the hives, but that's all right. They'll come off in another month, right before I start to treat, but about 3 weeks. When I start with oxalic acid, I'll go ahead and yank them off, get everybody down to where they're going to be. So we'll treat then, and we'll do 4 treatments every 5 days, every 5 or 6 days. And that'll do a pretty decent coverage. Then we'll hit one in the cold winter when we're at our most broodless stage that we can be. That's the plan of action. That's what's going on. That's in the future. Right now, we're going out to check on this swarm. This is the one we went ahead and put a double on just to see what they would do. Didn't put any feed on them. So I want to go out there and look at them. I also got to set up a hive stand. And on that note, always remember, guys, this is not a how-to video. I'm not doing how-to videos. None of my videos are ever meant or purposed to be a how-to video. They're simply a vlog of me doing what I do, and the channel started with me just showing what it takes an average guy in Southeast Louisiana to raise bees. It's more than just having bugs in a box and getting honey every year. So that's been accomplished, I think, because I see some people that watch and tell me, well, it's a lot more complicated than I thought. But as I said, not a how-to, so I'm going to go out here and set up a hive stand, because this is going to be an overwintering spot for me. And so how I set up my hive stand is not a how-to, it's just how I set up my hive stands. But I'm going to go out there, try and get us a level stand, weed around what we got, take a good look at this swarm, see how it's doing, see if it grew into that second deep. Remember, we split the brood nest in half and split it between the top and bottom, and we're going to see what they did. So basically what we do is split the brood nest. So usually I'll seed like 1 frame up, but I've been thinking, and I heard this from somebody, an expert, a doctor, a PhD. It was Dr. Jeff Harris. You hear me mention him a lot now. I'm really liking that guy. I just met him finally, and he's really making a lot of sense. And what I like about him is he was a beekeeper all his life before he went into entomology. But he talked about taking, instead of seeding 1 or 2 frames, split the nest in half. If you had 8, put 4 on bottom, 4 on top, and then let them fill out the rest. Now that's in spring. But this thing is so big, I'm telling you, I think we'll do it this time of year. I may check on the tax swarm, I don't know. Here's the deal at the house though, there's so many bees, but not a lot of them are foraging, but the ones that are looking hard for any honey. We don't want to have a situation where we're robbing, and you hear me talk about that a lot, but that's what's going on. I have some colonies that need assessing, but oh look, okay, so here's Matt White, he's cutting grass. Let's look at him cut grass. Let's look at him cut grass. He's actually working. I don't know if that's work or not, but yeah, he's working. And so there's about 4 colonies I do need to look at. I know I've got four at the house that need to be gone through. The ones in town are fine, and I don't know about this one. And the ones next door to my house, didn't see any of those that, you know, weren't any concern I look at. It might be 1 I would look at in there. I don't know. I'll look again at the landing board. The only other 2 I don't know about are those at the dairy. Those are actually coming out of there probably this weekend and going to be moved either out here where we're going, or I'll probably just move them to the house. Yeah, it's like a couple miles away, but they'll be fine moving them. So let's get on out here and see what we can figure out. I'm taking the back roads cooling off because again I've been working out there this morning. It's pretty doggone hot, and I can stand just sit here and cool off in the truck for a few miles. All right, we're off. All right, folks, so we're here, and it's definitely warm. It's getting to be about noon. Normally this is about the time I go in. Looks like somebody's been out here cleaning up a little bit in front of the hive stand, but I'm going to put up a second hive stand here. And again, it's so hot, you gotta be really careful. As you see, I got heat exhaustion before. Of course, that was to do with meds. I'm positive of it because I'm pretty careful about hydrating and not working myself too hard. I know about when I need to stop. I normally don't get out in this kind of weather. Once this time of year, from like end of July going through to mid-September, I stop in the middle of the afternoon. I go in, but got a little bit of cloud cover. Sun will come back out, but I'm not going to work long. I'm going to work fast. You don't get lulled to sleep because there's no other colonies on stands out here as far as robbing goes. There's still a lot of feral bees. Now, maybe you guys that live places there's not a lot of feral bees, you don't have to worry about it. But there's a lot of feral bees out here, so I still have to be careful with robbing. So I'll be quick for two reasons. One, because it's dadgum hot. So I want to get in and get out to protect myself. And I need to get this stand out and do some weed eating and all. So I don't want to be burning myself up in the heat because the sun's coming back out going through this colony. So I'll be in quick for that and for robbing. This one I'm looking at, and this looks like it's doing all right. It's got a lot of activity. You know, it was a very, very big swarm, but we also raised them up into a second deep. So, but I see a lot of coming and going. That could be a lot of water. There could still be some pollen coming in. Shouldn't be much nectar, if any at all, coming in around here now. So what stores they have is what, oh, that one didn't like me. What stores they have in there now is basically what they're going to have to deal with. What they got from that flow is all they got. So we're going to zip through it, see what we can figure out, make sure they're good, clean up with the weed eater around here. So I'll go through them first, then I'll hit it with the weed eater, and then I'll set up another stand. Probably going to set the stand up right here, and I'll level it all out. So that's the plan of action. Let's get rolling and get these bees done. Oh, one other note too that I've noticed in my time, I may have mentioned this in another video, when we see the bees piled up on the front this time of year, right now they're all going out getting water. You can't see it real well, but there's bees just coming and going. So they're probably looking for water, going out and scouting for any forage they can get. So they're very busy right now, and the ones on the front are fanning. As the day goes on and they quit flying as much, they'll get on the front of that thing and begin to cool it, and there'll be a ton of bees piled up on it. That's pretty normal. They're just hanging out. They got nowhere to go. There's nothing to forage, so they begin to hang out up there. And a lot of people will wonder about the bearding and what's going on. Well, it's just the bees staying out of the hive while they're regulating the temperature. And I don't never get too worried about it. But later this evening, this thing will probably be just covered on the front. But they're busy right now. They're coming and going, so they're probably bringing water. I don't see any pollen. Could be some pollen though, but I see. And another pollen source this time of year actually is bahia grass. So you gotta watch they don't start binding that thing up with bahia pollen. But I don't see any pollen coming in right now. They're probably just going out looking and bringing water, and I might have seen some just then. I don't know. But we'll take a look when we get in there. We'll see what we can find. All right, so let's get after this. Throw a little smoke to them. Remember the swarm? I had bait in there. Look what they did. They pulled it out, chewed it up. That's how I got them to go in there. So we'll put that in the trash. Take that with us. Got a little hole here. I forgot this is a rotten box. Darn it. Should have brought a new box out here. So anytime you have a crack, definitely want to smoke that crack because that's now an entrance. They're guarding it. I do have some ventilation in this thing, but they may have propolized it. So let's see what these bees did. This is the one we split in half. And we said, hey, see, can you fill this top deep? And I said I think they would. It's got me smiling all the way home. I'm happy to have that. I'm grateful for that swarm. Man, it is performing well. Let's see what it does going into that second deep and see if we can get it in that second deep fully before winter. I think we can. Don't you? I've not been out here, guys. You're seeing this for the first time just like I am. All right, we put their honey they had already had to the outside. That's a good brood frame I'm gonna stick in here. And basically, I'm just gonna split the nest. 3 brood, 2 honey. We'll leave them a honey, and then we'll just put foundation on the outside. That deal with me not checkerboard, and that's just a personal preference, as I do it right here. Basically, I've got 3 solid brood and a honey, and 4 solid brood and 2 honeys, and that's it. Let's get some foundations in here. All right, so we're gonna live with that. Put this up here, or I want them working towards, but I didn't. I did throw this one honey frame to the outside. It's full, beautiful. I don't like keeping it too spread out, because again, you hear me mentioning beetles a lot. When you've been down south and let a hive get weak and allow beetles to take over because you weaken them, you get a little concerned. But we're going to leave it at that. Basically split the nest in half. I'm going to see what they do. Push comes to shove, I'll feed them into that soft box, but it's such a big colony. That's what we did. So let's see. No, they've got an entire top deep of honey almost, it looks like. And that's fine. Oh no, they didn't. Whew, that's a brood nest. There's all, look, that's fresh nectar. I'll be darned, I wonder where that's coming from. Now then, let's see what this queen did. Alright, and they're backfilling this with nectar, but that's an old, so that's, brood is emerging, so it's at least 3 weeks now. Going up on 3 weeks for the most part. We were coming on the end of the flow, so I don't know. Yeah, look, there's plenty of brood going to be emerging. Wow. So these are the frame, and that's full of nectar. And that's okay in the top. We don't want to see that in the bottom like that, but we're not in the bottom. So that's what we're going to do. Keep looking. Wow. Remember, this is such a, oh yeah. Pearly white. The larvae are, they look good and healthy. They're nice and white. They're ranging from all ages and dates. That's good. We'll look for eggs. This thing is slammed full of larvae. I think we're just past the egg stage on all of them. Well, there's eggs laying over. So yeah, good and calm. The bees are calm. They look good. Another frame of brood on the back side here. Let's look for the queen really quick. Don't see her here. I don't know that I've ever seen this queen. I can't remember if we saw her in the video before or not. More larvae. So let's see if we got eggs on this side. Yeah, I see eggs. So guys, typical summer inspection. I've seen plenty of eggs. I see bees all down the bottom. Plenty of brood up here. There's got to be brood in the bottom, I'm sure. If there's not, hey, them bees are just hanging out then. But there's brood in the bottom. I'm not going to open the bottom. Oh yeah, this is full of eggs. So I see tons of eggs in there. Let me see if the camera will pick those up. We know we got a queen. No reason to dig into the bottom. Bottom, no reason to disrupt them. They're regulating their heat. This colony is full of bees, and I'll show you that. This colony is absolutely full on the bottom of bees. The top is covered in pretty good, but you know, there's a lot of honey up here, so you don't see them on the honey. So that's why we say we're done at this point. We're queen right. Look healthy. The bees all look good. Don't see any sick bees like with any deformed wing virus. Don't see any lethargic bees, no oily bees. When I say oily, sometimes you'll see them bees that just kind of look moist, look real dark and black, like they got a coat of moisture or something on them, or a coat of honey sometimes. I've seen that when they're not healthy. Everything looks normal. They're coming and going like they should. But now let's look and see if they're bringing in pollen. I can tell you this, they're coming and going normal. Nothing abnormal looking in this colony. It's also got a ton of honey in the top, which is great. There's no reason to even think about feeding for the dearth at all. And most likely we won't even have to feed for the winter. This colony will be just fine. So let's look at the coming and going. So they're fanning, but let's look for pollen. Other than that, I would imagine just water. There's some fresh looking nectar in there. So that could be something coming in. I don't know what would be flowing or putting out nectar right now, but there's a little bit of pollen on each bee, a real small spot on their legs. A really small spot. I don't know if the camera will notice that. Let's look on the entrance where they're actually coming in. Like it's a small, very light colored pollen on the backs of some of their legs. And I mean small spots of it. As long as that queen has got pollen, she'll keep laying. There's one that came in with some. There's one. See, it's just a little bit of pollen on the back of their... a little something in that pollen basket. So that colony looks good. As I lifted the frames, I looked down and they've drawn everything out in the bottom. So here late in the flow, we were able to push them into a double deep without feed, with just a week or so left of the flow, and it worked out well. So that's a good thing. Very pleased with that. So we're done there. I'm gonna put the strap on it real quick, and then what we're gonna do is clean out an area to put another stand. And that way I'll have a place to winter some bees and start moving some overflow up here. As I get the chance, I'll have a stand ready to go. All right, folks, there you go. It's just that simple. Looks like it's doing good. I'm not going to check the tax hive. It's just too hot this time of day. Find me some shade here to talk to you the rest of the way out, but that's good enough. I've got to check the tax swarm. It's looking fine based on the front end activity, but there's 4 that have to be checked out there, and what I'll do is probably go out one morning, check those 4, and check the tax swarm at the same time. So we'll check that one another time. I want to get on in. It's over 95 now and it's hot, so it's time to go on in. Call it a day. Come back out this evening, wrap up some stuff in the yard. Maybe we'll do it then and do a second video. Either way, I got to do those other 4 inspections, so we'll look at those too. And then we'll be moving on to treatment. All the honey is off. Got to drain the uncapping tank. It looks like at this point it's going to be about 160, 170 gallons, give or take. Depends what I come up with when I drain that uncapping tank. It's probably got 8 or 9 gallons in it now. It's got at least a 5-gallon bucket for sure. Get that drained tonight, but it looks like we got just shy of a ton. I mean, looking like 18 to 1900 pounds somewhere. So very, very pleased. Best harvest we've ever had. Again, I think I told y'all 100 to 110 gallons was our average, and we were happy with when we really got to selling honey and got our hive count where we wanted. Last year we ran short at 95, 90, 95. I don't know. We start counting buckets and I get mixed up. Might have been 90, but nonetheless it was short. So very grateful, very, very blessed. Thank the Lord. I thank the Lord also for bringing me some cloud cover while we were inspecting. So didn't see any small hive beetles when I opened that colony. That's a good thing. So hey, everything looks good out here. I'm gonna get on down the road. I got a nice cool water and a Gatorade sitting inside there, and I'm gonna head on down the road. Guys, I appreciate everybody watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you don't mind, of course. Don't forget to share this video with friends, family, anybody that just enjoys watching bees. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hey, this is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. May Lord God bless you and keep you. We'll see y'all later.